Hey everyone, I'm finally back with another reading journal video. This is to update my journal for February and all of the books that I read. I had a little bit of trouble with Final Cut Pro the past couple of weeks, and so this video was filmed. I just kept running into issues editing it, so finally got that sorted out so we can get finally get this up. I believe I read 6 books this past month in February. One of them was A Promise of Lies by Claire Sager, which means that I did complete a series. I finished reading the Shadows of the Tenebrous Court series by Claire Sager, so that is exciting. Also, you'll notice that my camera is having a little bit of trouble focusing. Sometimes when I'm writing, I tweaked my setup a little bit, and I'm gonna have to tweak it again so that this doesn't happen, but please forgive that. But yeah, so I finished one series, so I updated that in my goals, and I'm going ahead and just adding a little check mark in the color that is associated with February in this journal. And then I'm also going to go ahead and fill out the 20 books off my TBR. I did knock 3 physical books off of my physical TBR. I read A Promise of Lies and Daggermouth, which I actually read both of those from Kindle Unlimited, but I also own the physical copies, so I counted those. And then there was another book that I ended up DNFing, and I will be unhauling, but I did count that towards the 20 books off my physical TBR. So I also ended up being able to add 2 indie authors to my next goal, which is to read 10 new to me indie authors. So the first one is Jane Washington. I read Plie by her, which is book 1 in the Ironside Academy series, and then I also counted Daggermouth as well. I know that H.M. Wolf got a trad deal, but I still read the indie version, so I figured it still counted. I'm adding A Promise of Lies next to the first 2 books in the series that I reread in January, so those are those 3 together on the bookshelf, which I really liked that I did that. And then the other books that I read in February were Pucking Around by Emily Rath, The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell, Caught Up by Nevessa Allen, and what was the other one? I think I've mentioned all of them now, because there was only 6. I also DNF'd, I think like 5 books this month. I'm big on DNFing books. I think there's just too many books out there that I'll enjoy to be spending time reading ones that I'm not enjoying. But I'm not going to talk about them because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to get anyone to not read those books. They just didn't personally work for me, so I am going to kind of skip those. But yeah, I just thought I would mention that. It was kind of a wild month there. So I'm just filling these out with the brown color, and that's gonna be the color for February. I think I originally started writing the titles in with my gel pen, and they weren't showing up very well, and I remember that I really should have been using my Micron, so I finally figured that out and switched and started to write with that. And I'm just counting to make sure I got all of them. So yeah, I'm just adding my book covers. I edit out a lot of my attempts to try to peel the sticker backing off. It takes me actually so long to do that, and I don't really know. I wish there was an easier way. It feels like it shouldn't be that hard. Also, you'll see me often I have like multiple of the book covers printed out, and you'll see me kind of picking the best ones for like, especially this spread and some other spreads. I'm like trying to pick the best, the one that printed out the best. And yeah, adding to my reading index, you'll notice that I do have the star rating column covered up. I filled that in obviously for my star ratings for January, but I don't really want to make those public because I am an author and I just think it's weird. Personally, I just don't think authors should review other authors' books like star rating wise. I don't know. I mean, it's fine, I guess, if other authors want to do that, but personally, I feel like it's just not something I want to do, so I'm trying to keep that private. So you'll notice I try to cover that up. Just filling all these out, and you'll see, I think it's Daggermouth and A Promise of Lies, where I counted it as a physical book that I read and also an ebook that I read, just because I do have both. And I think, yeah, The Night She Disappeared was my first audiobook of the year. I haven't been listening to a ton of audiobooks so far. I do want to get back into them, but so far this is the only one that I've listened to. So this is gonna get sped up here a little bit just because we don't need to be here all day for this spread. The next upcoming spread is my 2026 TBR that I just kind of check off the books as I read them, and then I also have to add some books to my books bought spread because I did do a little bit of shopping. I actually purchased 4 books and then 2 blind date with the books. A friend came up to visit and we did a little shopping at some romance-only bookstores in Seattle, and so of course I had to snag a few things. I ended up purchasing King of Ravens by Claire Sager. I also purchased Heated Rivalry and Daggermouth, and then also I think it's called The Kiss Thief. I also bought 2 blind date with the books because they were just really cute and I couldn't decide between them based off the tropes that they said that they would be. I haven't opened them yet, so I wrote those down in pencil just so when I do open them I can come back and put the actual title. But yeah, so we've now bought 6 books. I don't plan on doing any book shopping anytime soon to kind of make up for that, but it was such a fun time. And then this is, of course, my pages read each day spread. You'll see that for some of the days I'm coloring in half the box, and that is because I was both listening to an audiobook and reading a book that day. So I had to, obviously color code them accordingly. I also added down below in the key, I added time read for an audiobook rather than pages read, because that would be kind of annoying to try to figure that out. So I figured just tracking how many minutes or hours I read or listened to would work better. So next, we're actually going to skip the best books of 2026 page because I don't have anything to put in there yet. I'll know later on if any of the books that I've read so far are going to end up in there, but for February, and watch me struggle to get this sticker off, but for February I decided my favorite book of the month was A Promise of Lies by Claire Sager. This romantasy series just really holds a special place in my heart. I love Cat and Bastion so much, and it just didn't feel right picking any of the other books over this one. Reading their ending was so bittersweet because I'm gonna miss them as characters. Just knowing I'm never gonna read about them again for the first time is kind of sad. So now I'm gonna fill out my series tracker. I did obviously finish the Shadows of the Tiniverse Court series, so I gotta go ahead and mark that off. And then I'm adding the Jacksonville Rays series, which was the Pucking Around series. And Into the Darkness I also added. I actually have already read Lights Out, I just didn't have it added to my series tracker because I forgot about it. And then I'm also adding Ironside Academy, which is the series for Plie, that's the first book. And I'm adding up all the pages that I read. So I think, I can't really see, but I think overall I read the same amount of pages. Yeah, I'm just filling out these stats numbers. You can kind of pause if you want to look more in depth. I'm counting things out. My numbers don't always match, you'll notice, because I sometimes will count books twice for like physical and ebooks, but then my total will just be like the total number of books I read regardless of how I read them. So it might not look like it adds up sometimes, but it makes sense to me, so that's all that matters. I'm just adding my destinations here. I don't know if you guys want me to speed through this part or not. I have it sped up and I feel like it's going too fast for me to narrate, but I'm also like, do you guys need to know what I put on there? I don't know. You can definitely let me know if you would prefer me to slow these down or speed them up. Maybe I'm going too slow. Anyways, this spread is for all of the books that I read that are on my physical TBR. So anytime I read them, I'm going to add them here, and I'm just going to recreate the spine. I want to credit the creator Manda Maid, who does reading journals. I got this idea from her, watching her videos, and I really liked it, so I decided to do it in my journal as well. And so far, all of the books that I've read physically, or that are from my physical TBR, they all have very black spines, so it's just kind of funny. I'm like, are we gonna get some color anytime soon? But I guess it's fine because the stained glass drawings that I have on here are very colorful, so maybe it balances out. But yeah, I'm just doing my best to recreate the font. Also, I ended up buying after this video, of course, I ended up buying, what is it called? A Posca pen? Is that? I can't remember the name now, but like a white paint pen, because my white gel pen just doesn't seem to be, I don't know if it's just old or if that's just as opaque as it gets, but I figure if I have to do any more of these spines with white font, I want to try something that will be a little bit more opaque. So I'm also, of course, like I said, putting in A Promise of Lies, which really didn't have any decoration on the spine, it just had the title really, so I tried to copy it as best I could. It's kind of a interesting font, but yeah, I just tried to get it as close as I could, and I think I did actually a pretty good job. I actually feel like I did a better job on this than I did on Daggermouth. Like drawing block letters, I don't think I'm very good at. So. For library savings, I did get The Night She Disappeared on audiobook from my library. I also got Caught Up by Navessa Allen from my library as well. And then for Kindle Unlimited savings, I'm counting quite a few books here because some of the books that I DNF'd were from Kindle Unlimited, and I count them because being able to read them or try them out on Kindle Unlimited and then decide they're not for me still saves me money since I didn't buy them. So even though I didn't read some of them that I'm writing down there, I did count them towards that. Next up is my bingo board. Okay, I went ahead and slowed this down a little bit. I'm really thinking through here if I can put pucking around in here, but I think I ended up deciding it didn't fit any of the prompts, and there wasn't really a way I could make it work. So for Plie, I believe that is a new to me indie author, so I went ahead and used Plie for that. And then The Night She Disappeared is for a mystery or thriller. I think I used Caught Up for a dark romance, and then Daggermouth was for a viral, like, social media book. I think it's like viral on Book Talk or something, is what I have on the bingo board. And then I also put A Promise of Lies for finishing a series. So I got finish 5 things on my bingo board? Complete 5 things on my bingo board? I'm not sure what the verb is there, but Also, sorry again about the weird focusing thing that my camera does whenever I'm like writing and the pen, yeah, so I'll fix that for next time. So I need to stamp these, so I'm using a like gold metallic ink and this little key stamp that I used last time. So I did still have P open as an option, but I also had 3 P books. So I was able to get C, D, and P for the alphabet challenge, I think, and that was all I was able to do. So now we're to the monthly spread, or monthly spreads, and I'm gonna put all of the book covers of the books that I finished onto this spread here. If you want to see me set this spread up, if you haven't already, I will leave that video in the cards maybe, or I don't know, it's on my channel somewhere. It's the last video I uploaded. I think maybe I'll start getting into how the books, I guess. So for this month, I decided to try to make like a more in-depth spread for each book. I don't think I'm gonna be doing that again because it just took a little bit, well, it took a lot of time. And I just think it's maybe a little too much for me to do every single month. So maybe limiting it to just my favorite book of the month, or just when I feel like it, I don't know. So the first book that I read this month was Pucking Round, and this is a Why Choose Hockey romance, and I had a great time with that book. If you've read it, Jake and Caleb are my favorites in that book, and they were really the stars of the show, in my opinion. I loved them so much. I loved their dynamic in the book, and I just thought they really made it a very memorable read for me. And I just genuinely had such a good time reading that book. So I am definitely excited to keep going with this series. I don't know when I'll pick up the next book, but I do want to read the rest of the series. You'll see me also adding some books here that I did DNF, and again, just a disclaimer that I in no way am trying to discourage any of you from reading these books that I DNF'd. They didn't work for me personally, and that doesn't mean they're bad books. It's just, you know, we have things that we like and things we don't like, and it's all subjective, so don't pay attention too much to if I DNF a book. It's just, you know, maybe it was that I wasn't in the mood for it, or maybe I just didn't really, I don't know, get on well with certain aspects of the book, and it does not, again, like I said, doesn't mean it's a bad book. The next book that I read, I think, oh yes, the next book I read was Caught Up. My library hold came in, so I had to prioritize that read, and also had a great time with that book. I do think I liked Lights Out better, but I still really liked Caught Up, and I would say where Lights Out is definitely a dark rom-com, Caught Up read more, in my opinion, more like a mafia romance. I don't know if I would consider it a true mafia romance, but it seemed like more mafia romance than Lights Out was. But yeah, I still really, really enjoyed it, and I think if you liked Lights Out, you'd probably like Caught Up as well, and I'm very excited for Game On, even though I don't know if I know who the MMC is now that I've read Caught Up, and I'm like nervous. I'm like, I don't know how she's gonna make him like, you know, a book boyfriend. Like, I don't like that character, so it's gonna be an interesting read, I think. So this is my first lines page where I just write down the first line of all the books I read. For this month, I just stuck with the books that I finished because I did DNF quite a few books and I just didn't feel like including them in here. But yeah, it kind of just reads like a really weird conversation. Like, it sounds like someone starting off with Rachel, and then someone responds with the blood was everywhere. So I had kind of a good laugh when I was writing these down. Just is like this nonsensical dialogue. And then I have this book shopping spread that I set up because, like I mentioned, I went book shopping with my friend. She came up to visit and we had to go to the romance bookstores, of course. So I printed out some pictures that I took of like the books that I bought, and then I also printed out a picture of that my friend and I took of us together. I'm not going to show that on the video because I kept forgetting to ask if she was okay with me putting her face in one of my videos, so I did not ask, and I don't know if she's okay with that, so I'm going to cover that up or like not show it in the video. Also, some of the picture that I cut out with like 2 of the book covers, it kind of printed out weird. Like I don't know, it felt like it zoomed in and it wasn't what it didn't print out how I thought it was gonna print out, so it kind of just looks weird, but I was like, whatever, I don't want to waste the sticker paper, so I just went with it. I also made stickers for the book stores that we went to. We went to Beguiled, and we also went to Love Struck in Seattle, and so I printed out their logos as stickers and just to put them in there. I'm just like adding some hearts and the date so I can look back on that page. For pucking around for the spread, I printed out some stickers, and I also had the brilliant idea of using watercolor in my reading journal. I knew the paper was not going to hold up well for watercolor because, you know, it's not watercolor paper, but I was like, whatever, it's fine. And I wanted to try it out because I kind of just recently started using watercolor again. I haven't used it since I was a kid, and I've been in the mood to paint more, so. Yeah, I drew this goalie net, and then I just decided to kind of paint around it. Kind of like it was ice, but also just like the background, I don't know. I just had this idea in my head, and this is what it turned out like. So I'm just painting that, and then I put some stickers on the spread as well, and I think I used a colored pencil to draw in the like frame of the net that's like red. Yeah, so like I said, I had a really great time reading this book. I think if you like Why Choose Hockey Romance, you'll probably like this book. And I really, really loved Caleb and Jake. They were, again, like I said, the stars of the show. They were the highlight of this read for me. It was kind of, I think it just hit the right spot after watching Heated Rivalry. Like, not exactly the same vibes, but I really enjoyed. And I think some of the characters that the next books in the series are about were introduced in Pucking Around, and I'm really excited to get their stories. Printed out some stickers. I made a little like hockey sticker, and then Poseidon, the dog, had to add. Yeah, just some other random little stickers. And then I'm gonna go ahead and skip to Caught Up because I know I'm gonna get behind talking about these books. I also printed out, for Pucking Around, I printed out some of the players' numbers. I printed out Jake's number and Ilmari's number, and I can't remember who is who, but whatever. But for my Caught Up spread, I drew a little sketch of the helmet that's on the cover, and just colored that in with Tombow's. I didn't do much else for Caught Up. I think after using all of this energy for the stickers for Pucking Around and the watercolor, and then I used watercolor on another spread as well, I kind of started to run out of ideas, which is why I just don't think I'm going to do this for every single book that I read going forward. I think I'm just going to either do what I did in January, where I just do like the book cover and the title, but not much else. Or I'll just like pick my favorite book and maybe do a more in-depth spread for that. Because this was a lot of work. Oh, and I forgot, I got some stamps. I got a 5-star stamp and a chili peppers. Stamp. I'm so excited. With my chili pepper rating, I'll maybe put it on the screen. It's not a rating of how good the spice is, please mind you. It's just how spicy I consider the book. So again, not in terms of quality or how much I liked the spice. So like a 1 chili pepper book is not a bad thing. It's just, you know, not that spicy in my opinion, and obviously that's very subjective. So, but for pucking around, I believe I gave it 4 chili peppers. I feel like I kind of base it off of like how vanilla or not vanilla the spicy scenes are, and then quantity of spicy scenes. So pucking around got 4 solid chili peppers, and I think caught up I gave 3.5 chili peppers. And these are just subjective and not like mostly mood ratings. Like, let's be real, like I didn't actually go through and count the amount of spicy scenes or anything. So I'm just purely going off what I remember feeling like, if it was spicy or not. So but yeah, just gonna color this guy in right now. This was really fun to draw though. I think I'd like to doodle more for some of the spreads, like if I have an idea of what to doodle. I did have a really good time with this. I think I just kind of got not burnt out, just like, I don't know, it's 6 books, trying to come up with a thing to do for all of them. I think it's just a bit much, but I'll just go off, you know, my mood and vibes next month or this month. It's March right now when I'm doing this. I'm all over the place today, guys. I was gonna do this voiceover today, and then my neighbors decided to start riding their dirt bikes outside, and then I was kind of flustered. I was like, oh, am I going to be able to film this voiceover? But I think they stopped, so I don't know. It seemed to have all worked out, but I'm just kind of like, it's later than I thought it was going to be, and it's a whole thing. I'd love maybe a little bit of feedback on my journal videos, just in terms of like, do you guys like music in the background? Do you think I'm going too slow, too quick? Definitely let me know. I am obviously still new at this, so I don't really know if I'm filming these in a great way. And the voiceover, I'm like, oh, I should fill every second with me talking, but I don't know that that's necessary either. I put music in my last video, but I think I'm gonna see what happens if I don't put music on this video. Just because I don't really want to play the same few songs over and over again for these longer videos. It just feels like, I don't know, kind of distracting, but some of you might like it, so I don't know. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. Oh, okay. Next book I read, this was the audiobook that I listened to, was The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. I've read None of This Is True by the same author and loved it. And The Night She Disappeared I also enjoyed. I loved the audiobook. I thought it was so well done, and it makes me just want to go through her entire backlist and listen to the audiobooks. For this spread, I sketched out a little garden with a sign that says "Dig Here." And it's like pointing at the ground. This is a thing that happens in the book. One of the main characters just moves, or has just moved to, I believe it's a fictional neighborhood in Surrey, in the UK, and as far as I can tell anyways, but she's just moved there with her boyfriend, and she is a cozy mystery novelist, and she finds this sign in their new garden, and it says "Dig Here," and then she finds out that there was this young woman who disappeared and has never been found, and her boyfriend went missing. And so this, cozy mystery novelist decides to investigate. So here I'm deciding again to do some watercolor because, great idea in a reading journal. I mean, I'm fine with it, but it did warp the pages, and I knew it was going to do that, but I'm like, maybe maybe I shouldn't have done that. Anyways, it's fine. But like I said, I had a really good time with this audiobook. I usually listen to audiobooks when I'm like doing chores, or if I'm sitting and like knitting, and I just kept trying to find more like chores that I could do, and more time to sit and knit and just listen to this audiobook. I feel like I finished it really quickly because I was just having such a good time with it. I will say, I think it requires a slight suspension of disbelief because the authorities in this book seem to be actively trying to solve this disappearance of this young woman and her boyfriend, who are new parents, and they left their baby with the young woman's mother, who we also get the point of view of the grandmother, basically. The police are actively investigating it, and they're portrayed as like competent, yet it is all of the other characters that are not police, that don't have access to like forensics and all of the resources that the police might have, and they're the ones that are finding all the clues, and the police are just somehow missing all of these clues. And it just, I don't know, it seemed a little bit unrealistic, I guess, to me in that way, but I still, I was still having a fun time reading it. And then at the end, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there was just something at the end. If you have read this book, you probably know what I'm talking about. It was just, I think, not scientifically correct, and that was a little weird, because I was kind of like, is this a plot hole? I don't know. But like I said, it was still a very fun audiobook to listen to, and I think I'm just maybe being slightly nitpicky. I'm a little more comfortable talking about my thoughts on a genre I don't write in because I think I can kind of feel like I'm just a reader in this sense, and share my thoughts a little bit more. Yeah, I'm still going to be working my way, I think, through Lisa Jewell's backlist. So if you have a favorite of her books, please drop it in the comments. Let me know what I should pick up next. Okay, so the next book that I read was Plie by Jane Washington. This is the first book in the Ironside Academy series, which is a paranormal romance. I would classify it anyways as a paranormal romance. It's like, if you've read Zodiac Academy, it's like Zodiac Academy, but make it a reality TV show, and also it's Omegaverse. I had such a good time with this book. It is a why choose, and there's 10 love interests, and I will just leave it there for you. It is a little bit more on the slow burn side as well. And yeah, I just came up, I just made some stickers and kind of tried to match the colors of the cover for this book, and you'll see a little security camera sticker because they have cameras on them pretty much all the time. Also, the main character is a dancer, so I have a little ballerina sticker, and yeah, I'm gonna give you a little March spoiler. My friend and I buddy read the whole series, the rest of the series in March, and it was such a fun time. Very glad that I read that series. I think, yeah, if you like Omegaverse, if you like paranormal romance, and you like Why Choose books, and you haven't checked that one out, check it out. 10 love interests sounds like a lot, and it is, but I think she did a really good job balancing all the different characters. Also, again, sorry about the focusing of the camera. I just think she did such a great job with that. All of the like different male characters felt very developed and different from one another. It wasn't just like the same character in different, different hair colors. I gave book one half a chili pepper because there's no spice in book one, but there is spice in the rest of the series, so I gave it like half a chili pepper for like spice potential. And then obviously for the night she disappeared, there's no chili pepper rating because it's not that type of book. For A Promise of Lies, I think at this point I was just didn't have any more ideas, so I printed out a sticker that has a serpent on it, or snake, It's kind of relevant to the book, and I figured it kind of matched the cover a little bit, and that was all I had left in me at this point, even though I think this was, yeah, my favorite book that I read this past month. And then for Daggermouth as well, I just did a sticker and the book cover and the title because, again, I was out of ideas. But the Shadows of Tenebrous Court series, I think, is a really great series. If you like romantasy, I would highly recommend it. Cat and Bastion, like I said, they're just very near and dear to my heart, and I just loved getting to see their ending. And then Daggermouth, I had to read because, you know, book talk. And I can definitely see why people are really, really resonating with it. It is, unfortunately, just has a lot of parallels with everything that's going on in the world right now. And I think it really shows rage really well, like as an emotion, if that makes sense. And so I can really see why it is so popular, and also so amazing that she got a seven-figure deal. Like that's crazy. I mean, not crazy like unheard of or unthinkable, but just like crazy cool, I mean. And then I forgot to put in plie for my buddy reads, so I went back and added that. I kind of forgot that I had printed that out, and I had this extra book cover, and I'm like, why did I print this out? And it was because it was for this page. And that is gonna wrap up this chaotic update, my February journal with me. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for putting up with me rambling about my journal and about books. I hope it wasn't terrible to follow along with. I hope you had a wonderful February, and since it's already so far into March, I hope your March is going well. I hope you're finding all the 5-star reads and having such a good time. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!